Right, guys, welcome to another episode of Coachcast. This is going to be a solo one. This is episode 6, even though I haven't actually recorded episode 5 yet. Inception. So we are doing episode 5 today as well with my dad, Big Paul Chapman, Daddy Egg, although he's got a full head of hair. So I kind of put out a topics suggestions for this one. I don't think I feel that comfortable when I speak alone on these. Trying to like fill up time. I'm looking at the clock thinking, fucking hell, not even done 30 seconds yet. But yeah, there's actually some decent topics I think we can dive into. First and foremost, shout out to the sponsors, Pro Athlete on Instagram. I'm actually doing some video work with them on Saturday morning at Strom Sports Nutrition in Shrewsbury. Just trying to promote the brand out there and stuff like that. I'm not like affiliated or I haven't got any investment in it, but it's a good, solid piece of new shit for the industry that I think will benefit a lot of people and help a lot of people out who are struggling, I don't know, finding a coach or wanting to promote their own coach and stuff like that, because there is a lot of dog shit out there. So that's the sponsor done. And the first question I actually had was, how are you, bro? I'll answer that. I'm all good, to be fair. This last couple of weeks has been difficult, but when I've actually spoke to people about it and they kind of remind me, right, in the last 4 weeks, what have you done? You've rebranded, you've left Physique Collective, you've gone out on your own, your business consultant stuff is fully booked all the fucking time, you're taking on more clients, you're doing the podcast, you're also trying to, I might actually talk about it today, trying to come up with an education-based coaching website of my own. Liam, we'll talk about it after. Which is going to be like a platform for, not platform, like CBC Education is what it was going to be called. I don't know if I'm still going to call it that, but like a collection of 80 to 90 videos to help either new coaches or coaches who are trying to brush up on skills or learning how to do things better, not pick up bad habits and stuff like that. And kind of like everything that I've ever been through for the last 6 years in video form of how to do everything, basically. So I've got that in the back of my head that I want to do, and just feel like I haven't got any time at the moment, which is difficult, to be fair, which is what me and Amelia were speaking of on last podcast, of like having the actual time to do things. It's difficult, and she values her time more than I value my own. At the moment, it's work. Just keep going until I don't have to keep going. But will that ever be a time? I don't know. But other than that, I'm really good. I'm just really fucking tired, and everyone keeps reminding me that I look tired. So thanks, everyone, for reminding me that I look like shit. So we're going to go into some of these questions and topics that people have sent through. And I'm going to start with Sam Priest 97, actually a very new client of mine. Absolute legend. It was his check-in day today. Man's killing it. And he put in, and I haven't actually seen this, what are your thoughts on Lee Priest's most recent clip about no phones in gym? What are the pros and cons? Now, as much as I like Lee Priest's physique, I also think he's a bit of a fucking melon. So I'd take whatever he says with a bit of a pinch of salt. Fucking hell, 436,000 followers. Jesus Christ. What's he said? I'm just looking for it on here. 18 hours ago. 1 day ago. I don't know, but I'm going to guess he will have probably said something along the lines of, don't go on your fucking phone in the gym. Oh, it's team hardcore only, all of this shit. Which, look, I completely get. Like, when I go on my phone in the gym, I'm probably distracted, but I also have a job. And if someone's messaging me and they've got trouble with something, or they need help with something, I'm probably going to reply even when I'm in the gym. Okay, now, some people do it differently to me. Of, like, prime example, and I know this for a fact because we trained. AJ, he'll put his phone on Do Not Disturb for the whole session. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't mean he probably doesn't go on his phone. He's probably going on his phone to change his music in the gym. which he probably uses as a motivation tool or a preset ritual. I don't know. I'll be honest. My and you've asked for my thoughts. That doesn't mean my thoughts are correct. I think the guy's a bit of a bellend, to be honest. Unbelievable physique and all that sort of stuff. But has he ever put out anything where you think, oh yeah, man, really agree with that? No, he comes across as an absolute arsehole. So if you want to use your phone in the gym, use your phone in the gym. Granted, if someone's on a machine and I want to go on it, and all they're doing is sat there texting, yeah, read the room, bro. Get off your phone and let me go on it. But just do what you want. You know, what are you sacrificing? 0.5% maybe? Yeah, if you're elite, genetic elite, and you want to get the most out of absolutely everything and stuff like that, then yeah, go for it. Custom Bodies Tom, another client, and I am calling you out for this one, bro. He says, eating arse, how to, the do's and the don'ts, etc. This is weird, bro. Is everything okay at home, Tom? I'll be asking Mercedes, mate, his missus. Bro, just get all up in there, bruv. No time to play no games. Next one, which I still get a bit of imposter syndrome about when people like this ask me a question, although it's not exactly a serious question. Darren Farrell, aka IFBB Pro, aka Olympian this year. Guilty pleasures that no one knows. Now, I don't think that anyone doesn't know these things, but some people it'll be new information, because I tend to not be bothered about what someone fucking thinks anyway. Favourite film, Pretty Woman. I mean, Liam, any thoughts on that? He'll allow it. It's a fucking great film. I cry at most films. Is that guilty? That's not a guilty pleasure, is it? Though? I like soppy films, bro. That's my guilty pleasure. I like soppy romantic films where I'll pretend that I'm in them and my life is absolutely nothing like that whatsoever. I don't think I've got any other guilty pleasures. Probably not suitable for the podcast, to be honest. Chris Bates Fitness. If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be? Damn. I always think in these situations you think about your gravestone, don't you? I think Christian Chapman, something. Christian Chapman, he just wanted to help. I think would be my thing I wanted to remember for. The guy that just wanted to help. Actually, no. I'll tell you what I want to be remembered for, because someone sent me a DM the other day who was training in Ultimate Fitness. I won't reveal who they are because I don't want to embarrass them. But they didn't want to come over and say hello because they were nervous or actually said I look miserable in the gym, which is probably correct. Resting gym face, I like to call it. And they said, oh yeah, I was going to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, do you know this person? I was like, yeah, I know them. He said, oh yeah. They said he's a really nice guy and he's got time for everyone. That's what I want to be remembered for. I've got time for absolutely everyone. That also does come at a detriment as well. You give the wrong people too much time. So, Mitch Lloyd, 92. Bulking phase. Ideal weight to put on during a bulk per month. How much of a surplus during a bulk? Now, Mitch, this is nothing against you whatsoever, because I've voiced this numerous times. I absolutely hate the words like optimal rate of gain or optimal rate of loss. Like optimal rate of loss, I said this in the Physique Collective seminar when it comes to coaching. The optimal rate of loss is whatever it needs to be to get you peeled, if it's a show situation. I'm guessing this is, Mitch, you're probably a big boy, okay, trying to figure out how much to grow in an off-season. So let's take this as extremities first. Ideal rate of loss on a prep, as much as it needs to be to get someone peeled. Like, again, I said this in the seminar. Niall, for example, I prepped him last year. It came up on my feed, actually. It was this time last year. We were in peak week. And he was competing in Marbella. I went out for the last week with him to do it in person. And it was his idea for the show. I didn't think we'd have enough time. I also didn't realise how much there was to come off, which is normally the case with a lot of people that go into prep. You don't actually realise how much it is to go. And he was legit peeled. Like, he was peeled by the end of it. But he lost like 80 pounds in like 16 to 18 weeks or something, which is just retarded rate of loss, to be honest. So that's his optimal rate of loss was retarded mode. In terms of like optimal rate of gain, this is so into individual. Like, are you using gear or not? Because if you're using gear, the rate of gain is probably going to be able to be more. You're enabling more rate of gain because you're probably going to stay leaner at that, and you also have more tools to push body weight up as well as just food. I'll try and give some context. Right, if I've got a natty guy, ideal rate of gain across the month, £0.5 pound to £1 a week, so between £2 and £4 a month. But at the same time, if he gained £10 in a month and he still looked great, and it didn't really look like too much body fat was going on, and his performance is great, and he's feeling good, and his hunger's high, well, there's also nothing wrong with that. I feel like if you're actually aiming for a certain rate of gain, like to be so specific, you're probably going to be pulling back, pushing, I'll increase a little bit here just to hit that perfect rate. Just put yourself in a fucking surplus and just try not to think about too much. Go by the visual always. Like, you don't walk around with a sign on you saying how much you weigh. You walk around looking what you look like. Do you look better? Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to keep doing that then until it doesn't look better. And when it doesn't look better, I'll probably pull back. Like, I wouldn't look for like an ideal weight gain or weight loss. It's whatever it needs to be. Simple. That was a bit of a long one, sorry. Another client, it's just clients that ask questions, to be fair. Matt Bristow, a couple from him. Managing self-doubt. I don't think this is it something you manage? Self-doubt? Because I also think self-doubt does have some advantage of, like, how am I trying to say this? If I didn't have self-doubt, I wouldn't be like nervous to do anything. I'd just be like, yeah, man. But I think that would also mean like I didn't care as much. The only reason why I have self-doubt is because I care about something doing well or me doing well at something. I think, I might not be able to do that. I think it's definitely got more negatives than it's got positives, hence why you're probably asking the question, bro. But the self-doubt thing, it does bite you in the arse, mate, because it's like, perfect example, I was talking about CBC education earlier. Now, one of the main driving factors of me have not done it yet is, what if I do it and no one buys it? Like, I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. And I hate that. But at the same time, no one will also buy it if I don't do it. So, and Liam's nodding his head there. Thanks, Liam. Thanks. And the guy outside is nodding his head. Yeah, it's nodding his head. Thanks, mate. Make him feel good. But yeah, so if you don't do it, it's also not going to sell. So you might as well just put yourself out there. And you know what? You might fucking sell some. Brilliant. But I think it's good to keep a bit of self-doubt in there, because I think that's what keeps you going to try and eliminate. It's like the imposter syndrome. It's like, if you have imposter syndrome, like, you want to keep that because it will keep you going. If I didn't have that, I was like, yeah, man, whatever. Like, I wouldn't care as much, I think. But trying to like control self-doubt or eliminate self-doubt is fucking difficult, bruv. It's not looking good, bruv. Because I don't think there is a way to like really manage it. And it goes on to his next one quite nicely, of like the fear of failure. Like, well, that fear should be what keeps you fucking, well, I'm going to do, because you got to think like, right, the things that, I hate those kind of quotes, but like, the things that scare you make you grow the most, and all this sort of shit, which is right within some respects. But look, everyone's scared of failing. And I think if someone's not scared of failing at something, they're probably too cocky, and they're probably just going to fail anyway because they're a cocky prick and no one likes them anyway. So a bit of element of like fear of failure is good, because it will probably make you do better at the job, at the task at hand, kind of whatever you're having self-doubt about. Like, that fear will probably make you do whatever it is better, because you don't want to fail, essentially. I don't think that answer made any sense, bro, so I'm really sorry. Anyway, Zeph Chapman, fantastic last name. Any skills that you wish you still did, in brackets, guitar slayer? So I did used to play guitar for a very long time. I wasn't any good at all. But in terms of skills that I wish I had, or like something that I wish I still did, badminton and tennis. I used to fucking love playing tennis and badminton as a kid, and I was actually half decent. I would love to go and play a game at some point. If anyone wants to play a game of badminton anytime soon or tennis, Liam's putting his hand up. I'm ready for it. I think I'm probably going to sprain or break something. I don't think my wrist can flick that well these days. Table tennis, used to love table tennis on holiday. That is a skill. The next one is actually from my cousin. Now, shout out Tom Mason. If anyone lives, and Tom, you owe me money for this, mate, 'cause I'm about to. You're the new sponsor for the podcast, apparently, but you don't know about it. He has a couple of coffee shops in London. Crystal Palace is the main one, and it's called Four Boroughs. Four, the number, four, Four, Boroughs. Coffee shop that's heavy into cycling as well. Tom, if I haven't explained or sold that shop well to you there, I'm sorry, but it's a great coffee shop. It's a really deep question as well, which I don't fucking hell. If my demons are the fuel that keep me training, how do I work on them and not lose the fire? Fuck. That's a big question, isn't it? Fucking hell. If my demons are the fuel that keep me training, so right, got some demons that help him fucking train. I know for a fact, mate, you love training, cycling, all that sort of stuff. I know you love it. In terms of working on them, if that also in turn makes you a better person, you'll also probably be better at cycling because you're a better person. I think it's going to translate into it. Might sound a bit odd. And I don't think you would ever lose the fire, mate, because I see the passion. I see the passion, bruv, in that. If that's helped, I'm really happy. But if it hasn't, I'm really sorry, mate. Now, I'm not actually gonna say this person's name because I don't want to put his relationship in jeopardy. It's not looking good, bruv. Right, and I actually thought about this question earlier. Choosing to end a relationship and focus on yourself and business. Right choice, question mark. Bruv, this is not a question you should be asking on a podcast. No. Coachcast, now relationship cast. Now, these are just, again, my thoughts and opinions. I think the fact that you are asking the question already has answered your question. Because you clearly are in a position to prioritize yourself and your business. Hence why you're asking the question. So is the person you're with the right person to be with? I can't answer that, bro. But I do actually want to drop you a message after this and just talk to you about it. Because, like, would you not first speak to your partner and say, look, I'm really trying to focus on the business now. It might mean that, it might come at a detriment to us, or it might mean like less time and stuff like that. Because, bro, a partner will also help you through these times when things are busy, if they love you. Granted, bro, if they're going against this and they don't want you to do that, then and you want to do it, well, you got to go and do what you got to fucking do, bruv. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Just make sure they're not piranhas, bruv. So yeah, it's a tricky one, mate. That is. I have no idea why you're asking me. Although, to be fair, maybe it does relate a little bit. But no, I don't want to say you should be doing this or you should be doing that with your relationship, mate. But at the same time, the fact that you're asking the question kind of says a lot, in my opinion. So, these are the last two, and it's going to be the biggest segment of the podcast. Don't worry, because the podcast guy's looking a bit... You've only done 15 minutes, bruv. How long have I done? 15 minutes? Yeah, about 19. Oh, what's he worried about? And they're both the same sort of question. Please do a car special at some point. And then someone's also asked, can you list all the cars that you've ever had? Now, funny is, I'm that sad of a wanker that I've got in my notes every single car that I've ever owned. And I've been driving I passed my test pretty much the week after I turned 17. So 14 years I've been driving. And these are ones that I can remember. I swear there's more than this. And this does include company cars. I've had 33 cars in that time. One famously lasted 28 days, not because I writ it off or anything. It probably was already a write-off, to be honest. So I'm going to go through it one by one. So I passed my test, and to be fair, my dad, who's on the last podcast, Thanks. He's on the last podcast. He helped me buy. Well, I say helped me buy my first car. He bought my first car for me because he's a G. A Mark V Ford Fiesta Zetec S. Now, if you remember it, multi-spoke alloys. It was black with red interior. Well, black and red interior. It had like the silver mesh grille at the front. 1.6, 16 valve, 100 horsepower. Whew. Oh, baby. Black, did loads of stuff to it. Like, it was a chav wagon, to be fair. Black wheels, black headlights. Fucking put tights over the rear lights. You know, we all did that, let's be honest, bro. I had it for about 2 months and blew the engine up. Those famously ran themselves dry of oil and the bottom end goes and it starts knocking its tits off. So I did that within about 2 months and then found this guy. I swear he was called like Fat Andy. And bruv, he was fat and his name was Andy. And he used to work at the back of like Puma Build, which if you're Ford lovers, you'll know what that is. And he used to just do Ford Puma engine conversion. So the 1.7 16 valve, 125 horsepower out of the Ford Puma. Used to slot right in. You should change the engine mount or something like that. So I did that, and it was like I had the fastest car in sixth form, and I was really proud of that. I then went a bit left field with the next one. Skoda Fabia VRS, 1.9 diesel, 130 horsepower, but it had like 250 foot-pounds of torque or something. And I went in one before I bought it, and I was like, fucking hell, this feels like a train, because I'd never had anything that had torque, because it obviously being a diesel. Again, black. YS54 VKC. I can remember all my registration plates because, again, I'm really sad. The first one was KR51NHN. Had that for a bit. I put that into a field, hit a horse as well, not on purpose. It was at night, went to get my dad some chips from the chip shop, came out of the corner too fast, let off, oversteer, flipped the other way, went the other way, and then into a field and through some fences. Fixed it, didn't tell insurance, and then sold it. And to the poor bastard that bought it, sorry, mate. I don't even care. After that, Peugeot 106 GTI. I went with a lad to buy one for him, Alex Hill. He won't be listening. I highly doubt he's listening to this. He had one, and then I went in. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how fast these little things are. Found one for sale as I drove past it at the Plough and Harrow in Aldridge. Weird. KS52 AED or something like that. That was rapid. Loved that. Did some bits to that. Then I had a BMW E46 330 CI Coupe, which I was like 19 or 20, and I thought I was the absolute fucking dog's bollocks. 3 litre, straight six, heated leather. Which back then I was like, fucking hell, bruv. I thought I'd made it. I hadn't. Then I had a Mark V Golf GTI, which is kind of what put me on the map in the car scene, because that car ended up with no standard body parts, no standard, like nothing. It was fucking mental. It was like 370 horsepower by the end, 400 foot-pounds of torque, had a wave track LSD in it, stripped out, half cage. I often ran it with one seat, 6-pot brakes on the front. Fucking hell, I did. Fucking KO4 turbo conversion, R-Tech tuned. It was an absolute weapon. BBS, it had a BTCC body kit on it from the touring car. Don't ask how we got that. The BBS magnesium wheels, took that to the Nürburgring like 4 times. That was a weapon. It was fucking sick. Loved that. I had to have a daily at the time because it was undrivable on the road pretty much. And that was, I ended up, which needed a daily for my daily because I bought a stupid daily. An E39 530 diesel BMW that was slammed on its piece. It was stupid. It was on the floor, but it was great. Then sold the Golf, and because the last time I'd been to the Nürburgring, everyone was running Megans at the ring, and I was like, I need a Megane because they're weapons. Had a Renault Megane RS250 in white, sick car. I also had a company car at the time, a BMW 116 diesel, which was the most boring car I've ever driven in my entire life. Sorry to anyone that's got one, but it was awful. Hey, you think you've got one, haven't you? Okay, that's all right then. It was really bad. And another company car at the time was a Mercedes E-Class Estate, which I blew up. Awful car. They then replaced that with a F80 320 diesel, BMW, great car. Then kind of like went off the. I didn't have like a second car for a bit, and then I bought another track car for a friend, which was a Megane RS225. Floating discs. It had R26R gearbox in it with the diff. Plastic windows, stripped buckets, harnesses. Did a few track days in that. That was sick. Cadwell Park. It was a weapon around there. That was a good car. I then. Oh, it's hybrid turbo as well. It was sick. I then Part X that with an absolute mug. I felt awful when I drove off in his car and he drove on in this fucking shed of a Megane. It was on. Really wanted an E46 M3 at the time. It was like a dream car, and I saw it on eBay, topaz blue, and it had the square setup 18s, 18 by 9s all round, which is what I really wanted anyway. It was on coilovers already. I was like, oh, this looks great, and it said no Part X's, and I thought I'm going to chance this. I was like, look, mate, I know you said no Part X's, but I've got quite a unique car here. So I sent him the whole spec. He's like, you know what, actually, that sounds quite appealing. I was like, all right. He was like, we'll meet up and try each of his cars and stuff like that. And I remember him, he got in it and started it up, and the blue smoke coming out the back on startup. Turbo's about to shit itself, and I thought, oh, fucking, I'm not saying anything. He's like, yeah, mate, it's great. We'll do a swap. And I think it was like a swap plus like $2,000 or something, which I wish I kept that E46 because it'd be worth a load more now. So I had that for a bit, did a few track days in that, and then I got made redundant from a job. So I was like, fuck, need to sell that. And I bought a E92 330 diesel that was mapped, that was fucking rapid. And then went to work for Mini. So I just got given company cars. So I had a Mini. They gave me it. I think the boss was trying to take the fucking piss, because I had this BM that was really nice, done a few bits to it. He's like, yeah, we're going to get you in a company car, so you might as well sell yours. I was like, yeah, I'll sell it. And he put me in a pepper white, you know, like the cream Minis. No spec Mini Cooper diesel. It was not looking good, bruv. My street cred immediately went to -1. Sorry, anyone's got a pepper white Mini. It didn't suit me. And he was like, yeah, just run this for like 3 or 4 months and we'll put you in a better one. He did, put me in a Cooper SD, which was in like Nardo grey with some funky graphics on. Ran that for a bit, that sold. Then a Mini Clubman, Mini Countryman, another Mini Clubman. So I just did the whole range basically of Minis. Good cars, to be fair, great cars. Then I bought a car through them, through Work Scheme, which was the brand new 320 diesel, first new car I ever had. Had that for about 2 months and absolutely hated it. And I bought an M135i whip and mapped that, did a few downpipe, decat, filters, charge coolers, whatever, mapped it, and it was dangerous. The car was mental. Loved that car. If anyone's looking for like a great all-round car, probably now like 10, 12 grand, that will be rapid, buy one. Loved it. And then I swapped that and I bought a yellow RS250 Megane again, but it was a hybrid turbo, CAE shifter, Recaro pole positions, weapon, put Enkis on it. That was sick. Had that. Jesus Christ, this list is massive. And I needed a daily at the time for that, so I had a E61 520D touring at the time. So I had 2 cars at the time. I've always liked running 2 cars. I think it's cool. I had like a track car, a stupid car, and then a daily. Sold both of them in the end. And this was at the time when I was trying to leave Mini, and it was like during COVID. I'd used that estate BMW to go and collect all of the gym equipment across England to kit my parents' garage out during COVID. And I was like, I need to sell both cars because I want to have the money there just in case the business doesn't work. And someone offered me an Audi A3 at the time for $3,500. That was originally a 1.6 TDI, but it had S3 engine, 4-wheel drive system, Haldex, and it was 400 brake and 400 foot-pounds of torque. And I thought, this will just be a laugh for a bit, get me around. I've never had a car that launches like that off the line. It was fucking mental. It had flat shift, so you didn't have to use the clutch to shift, which is pretty cool when you're on it. Big flames out the back. And I had that for 28 days because I realised, right, this business is actually going to work and I'm actually going to go buy something I want. So bought it for $3,500, sold it for 4, laughing, 5 quid profit. And I bought an E92 M3. Now this was one of my most favourite cars. I fucking loved that car. 4-litre V8, 440 horsepower, manual, coupe. Did some bits to it, put the CSL wheels on it. Eyeback suspension, put the GTS wing on it, a few carbon bits. Had an Eisenman exhaust with pre-cat delete as well. It sounded just fucking mental. Loved that car. Again, value of them now has gone up, but I sold that to someone, a friend, and then he lent it to his friend, and the guy fucking rolled it. I was gutted. Like, really bad accident. It was so bad. Really bad. Shouldn't be laughing. But anyway, yeah, if you've got 16 to 20 grand, buy an E92 M3, you'll never regret it. I then bought an Aston Martin V8 Vantage, which was like, I thought, fucking hell, this is a big step up for me. It was first, like, I don't know, like special, really special car. That was cool. Loved that. Had that for a while. Fucking put it on coilovers and put it on slammed it. It was fucking stupid. D-cats, loudest fucking thing ever, because they're loud anyway. That was cool. It felt like pretty special getting in that. And then a big step up then was I had a Cayman GT4 in PTS, paint to sample birch green, which is like a luminous green. And I fucking love that car. That was one of the best driving cars ever. Hoon. And again, I managed to sell it for like £8,000 more than I bought it for in 10 months. I don't keep cars long, as you can probably tell from this list. We also had a daily at the time between me and my last partner, which was just a Audi A5 Coupe diesel, which was perfect for the job. I then sold the GT4 and bought a McLaren 570S, which was fucking sick, bro. That was the day I went to pick that up. I was like, nah, this isn't real, mate. Bright orange. It was a fucking weapon. I went with my dad to get it. That was cool. And at the same time, I bought a daily. Well, after a while, I bought it because I was fucking just using it every day, which I do not recommend. Rick from Strom was selling an 800 horsepower F90 BMW M5. That'd be a great daily. Was the worst daily ever. Just totally stupid. That didn't last long. I then bought a car for me and my dad, a 996 Carrera 4S. I sold the M5. He'll talk about that on the last podcast. Then sold that and bought the most unreliable car on the entire planet. BMW E60 M5, 5-litre V10. Best noise, worst car. I drove it 9 times and it broke down 5. So I didn't keep that one long. Also know the poor bastard that's bought it. Sorry, bro. But you know all the stuff that I changed with it, bro. I did actually fix it. But I kind of lost the love, and I'd also moved to somewhere new. I couldn't have 3 cars because I had what did I have at the time? The 570 M5, and I had to buy something to get around because the M5 was broken. So I bought. Now this is the best car you can buy for this money. 25 to 30 grand. This is the best car you can buy because you'll feel like a baller as well. Range Rover L405 V8 diesel, black on black, cream leather. I understand everyone's obsession with Range Rover. It's the best thing I've ever had. I fucking loved that car. Paid like 27 grand for it. It had 69,000 miles on it. Favourite number. And it was if you put an home plate on it, no one knew how old it was. It was a 2016, I think. No, 2015. You'd never know. It was amazing. Drove like an absolute boat. Double glazed windows. Oh, loved it. Then we're going to the current 2. McLaren 720S, which is fucking mental. Best car ever. Ludicrous, terrifying. I love it. Looks like a fucking UFO. And then, again, we'll talk about it in the last podcast probably, for business purposes to get rid of corporation tax. An electric car. His Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo, which is also epic. Now it's back on the road. So that is fucking hell. That's a list. But Liam's going to put up. I should have said it at the start. Liam's going to put pictures up of all of these as we go through them because I'm adamant I've got a picture of every single car I've ever had somewhere. So it's going to take a lot of digging out, bro. But I'm going to do it because I think it'll be good for the poddy. So yeah, as you can tell, cars have been a big part of my life. Do I know what's next? Yeah. I think the Taycan's got to stay for 3 years to make the most of having it for the business, which is cool. But Ferrari 812 Superfast is like ultimate dream. but it's a lot of dirt, bro. It's so much. They are like, and they're not coming down. I'm thinking, yeah, I reckon in a couple of months they'll come down, and they've gone up. So it's not looking good, bruv. And I also need to sort out where I'm living. So I need to kind of sort that first. That is actually a bit more important than cars at the moment. So, but yeah, that's the car history. Made money on a lot of cars, which is always a great aim. But the last one didn't make any money, bro. I lost quite a bit of money because I put loads of miles on it. Fucking idiot, because I was using it every day. But yeah, that's it. And I think I'm going to end the podcast there, guys. Dad's about to arrive for the previous podcast, which makes no sense. So that'll be a good one. Go and like, share, comment, subscribe, all on the other ones, please, and get them shared. Get the poddy out there. And yeah, I'll see you at the next one.